Hello students, today we will continue with the functions topic itself, and today we are focusing on the uh, parameter passing of an array. So far we were discussing about only passing normal type of values, normal integer values only. Now we will see if we are having an array to be passed. That means, for example, if you want to pass an entire array itself as a parameter, that means array to be passed to a function definition and where that array to be processed separately. So let us see how it is possible in the language C. Okay, so uh, uh, we can have one more thing. We can either pass a single dimensional array, or if you want, we can pass a two-dimensional array also into the function definition. Just remember, passing a parameter means from the function call we are giving a parameter like integer value or character value or float value, or similarly we are passing an array, and that array to be received at the formal parameter of the function definition, and that is to be processed separately. Okay, so here there is a difference in dealing with these parameters. First thing is, while passing an array as a function parameter, only the name of the array is required. Only the name of the array is required for making that passing, means making a function call. Only the name of the array is required normally. So what is actually an array name? Already I have mentioned, the array name actually indicates it is a pointer to the memory address. Which memory address? It is a pointer to the base address of the memory where the array elements are being stored. An individual array name, if a of 1 means we are specifying that particular address, particular location, but simple array name means by default it is pointing into the base address of the array. So while passing an array as an argument, we are only passing that array name, means we are passing that address into the formal parameter. Okay, so that is the difference between when we are passing a normal value or variable, or when we are passing an array as a parameter. Okay, now let us see the various rules to be followed. So we are following some separate set of rules. Basic function rules remains the same, but when we use this array as parameter, we have to consider some rules. First one is it must be called by passing only the name of the array. I cannot specify this subscript or any other value while we are passing or while we are making a function call. That is the first point. And second point is, in function definition, the formal parameter must be an array type. So there, while receiving n, we should have some array type. Even without specifying the size also, we can provide that. So while calling, just provide the array name, but while receiving, you should have the array name and its subscript, because there in the formal parameter it must understand that that parameter is actually expecting an array. So that is why while calling, just give the name. The system will automatically understand that name as an array, but while receiving in the function, it should be separately, or it should be identifiable. That is, it should be in array format itself. That is the second rule. Then next one is the function prototype. It must show that the argument is an array. So if you are using a function prototype or function declaration, there also it must be shown as, means it should have this subscript. This subscript actually indicates this as an array. So for function definition and function declaration, we should provide this in the array format itself, even without having the index value also, but the subscript must be there. That is only the way in which the parameter can identify it as an array. But while making call, we need to call only by using the name of the array. So these are the rules to be followed when we are passing an array as parameter. So in our remaining examples, we are only considering these function related areas, and other logics are already being discussed. Now if I want to do some array processing, I will show how to pass this array as a parameter and how that array will be received at the function definition, and the body of the function definition will be the exact, almost the exact same logic of the similar array operation. Okay, we will see some examples. We will see one example that is a program using function to sort an array. So we are following bubble sort itself here also, because we are familiar with bubble sort and you have already studied that also. So there is a program for sorting an array. In here you will see ascending order or in any order. Now we will see how we can use a function for doing that particular operation. That means whenever we require an array to be sorted, we are actually calling a function. That is our aim. We are not directly doing the sorting operation, we are simply calling a function. So if I want to do the same sorting for 10 times, I can simply call that sort function. If I want to do sorting on 10 different arrays, each time pass different array names while we are calling that function. So that is the major procedure. The sorting algorithm that is already being discussed in our previous array session. So I won't be describing any details regarding the logic of sorting. I'll be looking only at the function usage, parameter passing, and how the function definition looks like. Okay, so just as in the previous program, we will see the main program first. We will see the main program first. From there only we are actually passing. So I am declaring an array in the a of 30. Then I am declaring two more variables, I and n. Enter the limit n. Then for I equal to 0, I less than n, printf elements. This is the reading of an array, very familiar reading of an array. Then just after reading, I am simply making a function call here. Sort of. Sort is the name of the function. A, what is this A? A is the name of this array. A is the name of this array. I am simply using the name of that array, comma, I am passing the limit size of the array also, because we require these two details. That means the array information must be passed, and second, how many elements are there in the array. So whatever be the elements, we need to know the size of that particular array and which array we are going to sort. So sort of a comma n. So by default, what is this A? A is the name of the array. So while passing an array as a parameter, we need to specify only the name of the array. Along with that array, I am not only passing an array, I am also, because we are reading the size here. Okay, so I am passing that size also. Okay, then sort will be called. It will go to the function. I will see that. Now after sorting, what we will do? For I equal to 0, I less than n, printf a of I. Here it will be printing the array elements in sorted order. Okay, so this is the main program. But in our previous program, what we were doing, after reading, I was writing the logic of sort here. Then I will print sorted array, and I will be using this loop for printing the array. Now I have simply made a statement sort of a comma n. The sort is already defined. So whenever I am making a call to sort function, that body will be executed according to the array, which array I am passing. On that array, the sorting will be happening, and the size is also being mentioned. Okay, now let us go to the body, that is the function. So this is the main program. It is almost clear, I think. Now let us look at the receiving side of the function. So this is on top, so that is why before all the function definition and main, we are actually making the header file inclusion. Now just look at the function header, int sort of int a comma int n. So why it is so? why we are having this. Just I will make a correction here, because in this program I am not going to repeat, I am not going to return anything, so I will give it as void sort. Okay, so if you want to return some value, no, nothing is returned here. If you are using without having any return, if I am writing int here, I need to just write a return 0 here, some value to be returned to the main, that's all. Return statement is a must if there is a return type, that's all. So I am simply avoiding that. Now this is the return type, there is nothing to be returned. Sort of, first parameter, it is expecting an array int a and with subscript. This subscript indicates that this is an array. An array is expected in this particular parameter. From there I am calling sort of a. So I can use a different name also here. I don't need to use the same name here, because this is a separate function. Int b is also okay, that is not an issue. Now inside we will process on b, but in effect what is happening, an array is being communicated here. Okay, so it is receiving an array here, then second one, it is receiving the size also. Array is available here and the size is also available. Now inside that I am declaring ij temp for I equal to 0, I less than n minus 1, I plus plus. So n is taken from here, this is the size received from the parameter. For j equal to 0, j less than n minus I minus 1, that is a bubble sort inner loop. Okay, now a of j will be compared with the a of j plus 1. That means bubble sort, the same thing. First phase, these two will be compared. The last one will be sorted. Next phase, this one and this one will be compared, and this will be sorted. Next phase, now if nothing to be compared, this one is already being sorted. Okay, so same process is happening within this loop. Okay, so this is swapping. If it is having what you say, according to the condition, if this is greater than this one, if it is an ascending order sorting, this will be swap. Okay, first element will be compared with the second element. So the body, you can see, we are simply replacing the same body of that array sorting. Only thing is, now it is inside a function. So remember two things. While calling, just use the name of the array for calling. Don't need to specify the subscript, square brackets or any size there. We can call by using only the name of the array. So that is implicitly in that format only. It is the language is written like that only. Okay, so while receiving, you should have a return type. This is not returning anything. Sort of, this is the name of function. First parameter, it is expecting an array, so I am writing int a type of array, because in formal parameter we always require the type of the corresponding parameter. So int a with subscript indicate it is expecting an array, then int n, second one is a value, that is an integer value is being expected, that is the size. Okay, so just like a normal program, downwards we are not finding the sorting procedure. Only thing is, we are simply passing that array and size into another function, and it will calculate that or doing the sorting in this particular location. Okay, so this logic, I hope it is not required. You can refer to my previous video for if you have any further doubt on this logic, you can look into that. So this is the difference, only these two. Just look at this statement, just a replacement in this format. Otherwise what we will do, we will start with for I equal to 0, I less than n minus 1 here, then we will do sorting, then we will print sorted array as this a of I. Okay, so automatically this a of I, this array will be in sorted format after calling sort of a comma n. Okay, sample output is given under the limit 5, under the element 17, 23, 5, 2, 9, an array element set is given and it is being sorted array 2, 5, 9, 17, 23. Okay. So this is one example where we are passing a single dimensional array as the parameter. We will see one more example where we are passing a single dimensional array as a parameter, but the question is like a program to sort the matrix row wise. A program to sort the matrix row wise. Sort the matrix row wise means if this is the matrix, sort this row in one order, means if you are having some elements on this row, it must be in sorted order. If you are having some elements in this row, it must be sorted in order. If you are having a row like this must be sorted. Then finally we should have this matrix. All the matrix, all the rows must be in sorted order. That is our logic. Okay, so here there will be a slight difference. Just listen once again. Here in two-dimensional array, so these are rows. These are rows. So each row, for if this is the name of two-dimensional array, this will be like a of 1, a of what do you say, 0 0 indicates this location, right? So this is 0th location, first, second, 0th row. This is actually 0th row. So 0th row to be sorted, first row to be sorted, then second row to be sorted. Two-dimensional array will be like this, a of this one, this one. This is number of row and this is number of column. 0th row to be sorted. Okay, so 0th row we need to do this sorting on these elements. We can follow the same bubble sorting here also. First row, next one, again take each j element or column element, do sorting. Then second row, again do the same process. So separately we are calling, if this is the matrix order, I need to call the sort 3 times. So look at this format. We are sorting only one row. Sorting only one row means only one array will be sorted, just like sorting a single array. This row sorting means it will be like sorting a single array. Sorting this one means sorting like a single array. Okay, so sorting algorithm remains the same. You can see this one. Here also what is happening in the, here also I will just avoid that in here because I am not going to return anything. So I will write it as void sort. Okay, so this is the same algorithm. Sort of int a, it is receiving one array. See, this array will be passed here. Select one row from the matrix, then pass it as an array. Then its size also. Then do the same process. I equal to 0, I less than n minus 1, less than n minus I minus 1. Do the same procedure for sorting. Next iteration, that is from main. We will see the main. Next, for first row, pass this array and the size will be same. Then do the sorting. Then next row, this will be passed. Then that will be sorted. That is the procedure used in this particular program. So sort the elements row wise, each row to be sorted. Okay. Now let us see the main program. What are the things or how it is the call. So this is exactly the previous function for a sorting. This is the function for a sorting, exactly similar to the previous example. Okay. Now let us see the main program. Let us see the main program. So this is actually a matrix. So I am declaring a matrix. I am declaring some variables required. Enter the order of matrix m and n, row and n. Then based on row and n, we are scanning the array. So the matrix will be scanned. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, for example. Okay, so this is actually sorted, but simply I have given this will be in different order, that is to be sorted. Okay. Now this is for reading a matrix, just like a normal matrix program, right? Now inside this you can see the next thing. For I equal to 0, I less than m. Just look at this logic very carefully. For I equal to 0, I less than m. For I equal to 0, I less than m. So m means number of rows. For I equal to 0, that is I first time, that is this 0. For I equal to 0, I less than m, I plus plus. I am calling sort of a of I. Now just listen. Previously I have mentioned about while passing an array as a parameter, we need to specify only the name of the array. That is because there we had only one row. just specify the name. Now this is a two-dimensional array, and for getting that row I require one dimension, that is a of 0. A of 0 will actually point to, so a of 0 is the base address of this row. A of 1 is the base address of this row. So here, what is the name of this array? A of 0 only. The name of this array is A of 1, as it is having two dimensions. Here we are having only one dimension, so a array name itself will point to this particular address, base address. But here we are having two rows, so each row will be taken as, it is identified as A of 0. A of 0, this will be passed. So if I am passing sort of A of 0, this array will be passed. Okay, so 0th row I am calling sort of this A of 0, comma n. N is the size of the array. N is the size of the array. Okay, what is this n? N here, don't compare that with array. What is n here? Number of columns. The number of column actually indicates the size of the array, right? N is actually number of columns. So f 0th row up to n size, go and sort there. So this will be sorted there. Then what we are doing, innerly what we are doing, for j equal to 0, for j equal to 0, j less than n, j plus plus, printf aij. The same thing, we are printing the same array. So for 0th row we are doing sorting, and then we are printing that matrix. That is why we are using the second iteration here. So j0 to n, those sorted values will be printed in A of ij format. So in outer loop, so this row will be sorted. Now after this it will be printing a slash n, because it is a two-dimensional array. Then it will go for next iteration, I equal to 1. It will come here. For A of I mean A of 1, it will pass A of 1. This address will be passed. It will go to that function with size the same number of columns. Then it will do sorting. Then with j loop it will be printing A of ij. This row will also be printed. Okay, so this is also another important program. The sorting algorithm remains the same for an array. Here each row is considered as a separate array for that matrix. We require the sorting of only those individual rows. Each rows can be considered as an array, so there we can implement the normal array sorting. So what we need to pass, we need to pass each individual row that is taken as the array. So each row can be identified by A of 0, as it is two-dimensional. Okay, so single dimensional array, the array will be identified with the array name. For two-dimensional array, the row will be identified by using the first subscript. Okay, now the second will be like A of 2 subscript will actually get the corresponding value of the location. Okay, so this logic is very, very important. Just listen, work out on this sorting. Okay, simple concept only. Other things, everything already you are familiar. Okay, now let us see the sample output of this program. Enter the order of matrix 2 by 4. So I'll be entering the values, all the values, and finally you'll be getting each row. So we are having 2 rows and 4 columns. So initially the values was in different order. So this row is being sorted, then this row is also being sorted. So this is another logic, another important program related to the usage of function, where we are passing an array as the parameter. Okay. Now next one, we'll look at one more point, passing 2D array as parameter. Passing 2D array as parameter. So here it is also possible to pass an entire two-dimensional array also, as because if you want to do some matrix related, in previous example Even if it was matrix, we were not executing a matrix program. We were doing row wise, select row wise, and we were processing like an array only. But if you want to process a matrix itself, like if you want to do some matrix summation, or if you want to do some matrix multiplication where it deals with multiple number of matrices, we need to pass the two-dimensional array itself as the parameter. Okay, so while passing that as parameter, what are the things to be considered? While passing 2D as parameter, we need to mention the maximum size of element of each row, that is column. So we should always mention the maximum size of the row with size of element of each row, that means the column. So if this is the row, maximum size of that row means the number of columns must be specified. The number of columns must be specified when we are passing a two-dimensional array. Otherwise it will be like similar to a single dimensional array only. We will see one example, there we will see the differences. Okay, just remember this, the column size must be specified while passing or while using a parameter passing for a matrix operation. So we are having a program where to find the sum of all the elements present in a matrix, to find the sum of all the elements present in a matrix. Okay, if this is the matrix like 1 2 3 4, all the 4, 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4, that's all. A of 0 0 plus A of 0 1 plus A of 1 0 plus A of 1 1, all the elements to be added, that's all, by using function. Okay, so here again we will start with the main program. We'll start with the main program. Just look, first one, a matrix is being declared. Variables, enter the order of matrix m by n. Then this is the reading, I less than m, j less than n. Enter the element, read the matrix. Matrix is ready. Then I am calling. So just listen, what I was mentioning before was not for while calling, while writing function, there you should have the column size must be specified. Previous case array, there only empty is enough, but while passing a matrix, always it is must, because each row end that boundary must be known to the compiler. So that's why in the definition we will see that in the definition we must provide the column size, that is a must. But while passing here, you can understand what we are doing. I am passing the array name. I am passing the array name, that is A. So the entire array will be passed. Okay, then m is the number of rows in this matrix, and n is the number of columns in this particular matrix. Okay, I am passing one matrix, its column, its row, and its row. That's all. This will be called, and there something will be happening. That means it will find the sum and it will display there itself. The control will come here and program will be terminated. Okay, so this is clear. Reading, then just calling sum of A. A is a two-dimensional array. As I have mentioned, two-dimensional array, physically it seems like this one, but it is like a sequence of memory in order. It is just like a single dimensional array only. So that is why we are using the array name itself. But if you want to separately get each rows, there we can use A of 1 subscript with some value, A of 1, A of 0, etc., etc., if you want to process only one particular row. Otherwise, if you want to identify the entire matrix together, you can use the matrix name itself. Okay, now let us look at the function definition. So we are passing three parameters, sum of A comma m comma n. Now just look at the definition there. So here also it is not returning anything. I will put it as void, then void sum is the name of function. First one, it is expecting a matrix, so int A of row number, it is not required actually, but column size must be there. it cannot be empty. We should have some value there. Some maximum size must be given. Comma int m comma int n. Int m comma int n. You can use different variables also. Now inside that, so here one matrix is there. Whatever matrix is passing from there will be receiving here. Whatever size for row, that will be here. Whatever size for column will be available here. Now matrix, column and row, all these details are available here. If these details are available, I can directly enter into the logic. Okay, so I will be declaring all the required variables here inside this sum function. For I equal to 0, I less than m. For j equal to 0, j less than n. What I am doing? Sum is equal to sum plus a of ij. Is it correct? Right? Because for I to m, j to n, what we are actually doing? This is the way how we are entering values. Right? Similarly, sum plus this one, plus this one, plus this one, plus this one. The same order, sum must be accumulated. Sum is equal to sum plus aij. So first of all, 0 will be added with a of 0, 0. Then it will be added with 0, 1. Then it will be added with 0, 1, 0 and 1, 1. Then print the sum here itself. Okay, so here only the sum. If you want to return this sum, if you use int here and return sum means you can go to the main program and there you can print the sum. Here we are printing that here, that is also okay. If you want to return that value, if you are having some further process to be done in the main program, you need to return this sum, because this sum cannot be accessed there directly. If you return this sum and assign that into a different variable in the main program, then if you want to do some further process on that, we can work on that. Okay, so this is one example where we are using a two-dimensional array. So this, just remember two things while passing. Here we are passing only the name of the matrix, but while receiving in the formal parameter or function definition, the array parameter, so where we are accessing or receiving that array means matrix, it should have the column size. So it should be in, first of all, it should be in a two-dimensional format, and second thing is the second dimension must be present there. Otherwise the system will not be treating it as a means it will be treating as an error. Okay, so this is the logic for finding the sum of all the elements present in a matrix. Okay, in normal matrix program also you may get such type of question like find the sum of each row, find the sum of all the elements present in a matrix. All these now it is almost clear, I think. Okay, now again we look at okay, so that's it. That's it for now. Now if you want to, I'll give an assignment also. Like if you want to have a matrix multiplication, what we can actually do. If you want to have some matrix multiplication using this, I'll just give an idea. It is not there in this presentation. So if you want to have what you say, matrix multiplication by using sum. So first of all you need to read matrix A, then read matrix B. So for both we are having column and row. So here we will pass it like mul of A comma B comma R1 comma C1 comma R2 comma C2. This is the function call. Now in the definition, what will be the difference? In the definition, what will be the difference? Void mul of int A, first empty, second will give a value, comma int B of first subscript is empty, then second will give a value, then receive all those parameters, corresponding parameters for 2 rows and 2 columns. Just receive that, that's all. Then you just write the exact logic of matrix multiplication. Those that for I equal to 0, j equal to 0, for k equal to 0. That logic to be written here, that's all. Okay, so these two are very important topics, passing an array as a parameter and passing a two-dimensional array as a parameter. In between we have seen one example where when we pass individual rows of a matrix, we are giving what you say, that index value also while passing the while calling that particular function. Okay, so that's it for now. That is all about the function topics. I think these are enough number of programs that is already being covered. So basics of functions, various syntaxes, the types of functions, then we have seen some examples related to functions. So any previous logics, basic logics can be written inside a function, and by giving a function name, we can easily make call to that function at any number of times as we require. Now similarly, various concept called as recursions was there in the previous part, and now in this session we have already seen the passing of parameter in the form of arrays and two-dimensional arrays. Okay, so that's it. That's all about functions, and hope this presentation will be helpful to you for getting some ideas regarding all these topics. Thank you.